Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been too long since my last confession. My dad, he used to come to this church back when I was a kid. He was a fighter, old school boxer. Lost more than he won. Had a 24-31 record before he... But he could take a punch. Jesus, he could take a punch.
Language?
Sorry, Father. Yeah, guys he went up against used to say I was like hitting oak. Yeah, nights when he was outmatched, my dad's strategy was to let him hit them until they broke their hands. He never got knocked out, my dad. Knocked down, sure, but he always got back up. He was always on his feet when he lost. Every now and then, though, every now and then he'd get hit and something inside of him would snap. My grandmother, she was the real Catholic. Fear of God ran deep, you'd have liked her. She used to say, be careful of the Murdock boys. They got the devil in them. And you'd see it sometimes. In the ring. His eyes would go dead. And he'd start walking forward real slow. Hands at his sides like he wasn't afraid of anything. And the other guy, he'd see that look and he'd try and get away from him. My dad, he'd catch him and trap him in the corner. Let the devil out. And I didn't understand it, you know. What he was feeling deep inside, I didn't understand it. Not back then.
But you understand it now? Perhaps this would be easier if you tell me what you've done.
I'm not seeking penance for what I've done, Father. I'm asking forgiveness for what I'm about to do.
That's not how this works. What exactly are you going to do?
When I was a kid, before the accident, I'd lay awake at night, listening to the sirens. I like to put stories to them. Try and figure out what they were for. Ambulance or cops, robbery or fire. I don't know, just a stupid game. But after I lost my sight, after my abilities developed, I realized how many sirens there actually were. How much this city suffered every single night.
You've been running around doing this since you were a kid?
No. I tried not to fight, to make my dad proud, to block it out. The sirens, the pain, the fear, all the strangling Hell's Kitchen. For years, I buried my head and turned away. Then, one night, right after we quit Lammin and Zach, I heard it.
Heard what?
Little girl, crying in her bed in a building down the block. Her father liked to go to her room late at night when his wife was asleep.
Oh, Jesus.
I called child services, like you're supposed to. But the mom, she wouldn't believe it. Said it wasn't true. And the dad, he was smart. He made sure what he did, how he did it, didn't leave a mark. Law couldn't do anything to help that little girl. But I could. I knew his routine. Waited till he was alone.
You touch your daughter again, and I will know.
He spent the next month in a hospital, eating through a straw. And I never slept better.
You say all this like one day you just had it with how things are. But to do what you do, you had to keep training all those years since that stick guy, knowing you would do something like this. Maybe it isn't only about justice, Matt. Maybe it's about you having an excuse to hit someone. Maybe you just can't stop yourself.
I don't want to stop. Do you believe in the devil, Father?
You mean as a concept?
No. Do you believe he exists? In this world, among us.
You want the short answer or the long one?
Just the truth.
When I was in seminary, I was more studious than pious, more skeptical than most of my peers. I had this notion, which I was more than willing to speak about at length to whoever I could corner. But the devil was inconsequential. Minor figure in the grand scheme.
Not very Catholic of you.
Yeah. In my defense, in the scriptures, the Hebrew word Satan actually means adversary. It's applied to any antagonist. Angels and humans, serpents and kings. Medieval theologians reinterpreted those passages to be about a single, monstrous enemy. And in my youthful zeal, I was certain I knew why. Propaganda. Played up to drive people into the church.
So you don't believe he exists?
Years later, I was in Rwanda, trying to help local churches provide aid and sanctuary to refugees. I'd become close with the village elder, Gahiji. He and his family had the respect of everybody, Hutu and Tutsi alike. The militia liked to force Hutu villagers to murder their neighbor with machetes. But nobody would raise a hand against Gahiji. They said, how can we kill such a holy man? So the militia commanders sent soldiers with orders to cut his head off in front of the entire village. Gahiji didn't try to put up a fight. Just asked for the chance to say goodbye to his family. By the time he was done, even the soldiers didn't want to kill him. So they went to their commander and asked permission to shoot him. At least give him a quick death. The commander wanted to meet this man who had won the respect of so many. He went to Gahichi, talked with him in his hut for many hours. Then he dragged him out in front of his village and hacked him to pieces, along with his entire family. In that man who took Gahichi's life, I saw the devil. So yes, Matthew, I believe he walks among us, taking many forms.